so apparently Yusei Run goes with everything. This track, composed by Yuki Hayashi for the anime My Hero Academia, has been matched with everything from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to the Tigger movie. But for some strange reason, everything still flows as if the music was specifically composed for those scenes. Welcome to the internet, where context goes to die.
No time for jumping! Not a second to wait!
Not to bust the bubble right out the gate, but Yusei Run isn't the first time a single track has been able to fit with quote-unquote everything. Guile's theme from Street Fighter II, the Attack on Titan opening, and any given track by Hiroyuki Sawano.
I say don't lose your progress in Madrid.
What all these tracks have in common is that, by design, they're incredibly generic. Naturally, if you want something to fit in as many different contexts as possible, the emotional response it elicits can't be too sophisticated. But me calling Yusei Run generic shouldn't be taken as an insult. Quite the opposite, actually. Every track on the My Hero Academia OST has its own function within the narrative. It just so happens that Yusei Run can accomplish the same goal in completely different narratives, even if only for a few isolated minutes. A track like Hero A is mostly used for build-up, stuff like training montages and plans being put into motion.
My hero, show me what I gotta do. Sometimes anything doesn't go wrong.
The main theme of My Hero Academia is more so used for setting the scene.
After that, reports of people with superpowers popped up across the globe. No one knew what was causing these quirks. Before long, the supernatural became the totally normal. Dreams are reality.
Meanwhile, All Might seems to use the track I Am Here as the musical equivalent of his slogan.
Fear not, citizens! Hope has arrived! Because I am here!
The huge sound of a rock band with a symphony orchestra could be seen as overcompensating for a lack of substance. But since this is My Hero Academia we're talking about, it's all a part of creating that distinct heroic essence, which is at the heart of Yusei Run. Combining the authentic warmth of orchestral strings and brass with the sheer brightness and power of an electric guitar gives us the best of both worlds, which is exactly what it takes to be a hero. You need that strength to get the job done, but also that more mature nature that people en masse can look up to. Simply put, Yusei Run is heroism in its natural state, completely unadulterated and instinctive. The beginning is shapeless and vague, coasting off some slow-moving violins and ominous horns. But then, we get launched into the main meat of the track with a flurry of drum kicks, and we start hearing that trademark Hero Academia sound in full force. But it's still mostly rhythm and grit, without much melody. However, over the course of the track, we go through several phases that gradually create a sense of melody, and progressively make it more resolute. These phases are marked by those big percussion flourishes, which always change up the mood.
Now, I activate my trap! It packs a punch! And it's not the end yet!
But for the sake of this video, we're only going to focus on the most important phase, one that comes around 2 minutes and 5 seconds in, and gives us the melody we've been looking for. When composing this track, Yuki Hayashi said he imagined that this would be where the hero emerges. It literally stops the momentum of the drums, to present itself as this idealistic beacon which goes beyond the immediate action. And as soon as it's done playing, it's the same melody, but it's gone from an internal ideal to an external sense of triumph in such a bombastic fashion. And it's that very idea that heroes will save the day by turning people's hopes into reality that is so closely tied to timing. So now we're gonna do the unthinkable. We're going to look at what Yusei Run was actually supposed to go with.
Why am I running? Why can't I stop?
This is the moment we find out that the heroic essence is at the very core of Deku's being. Let's see where that melody for the hero emerging comes in this specific scene.
I don't know why I did what I did.
Sorry, kid, it's not gonna.
You really think they let someone like you in when they grab me?
But this isn't the first time we've heard it. Deku's always observed heroes from a distance, with a sense of glowing admiration for how they're able to do what no one else can.
With the rise of superpowers came an explosive increase in criminal activity. While governments were stuck trying to figure out how to reform laws with quirks in mind, courageous people started performing heroic acts to keep our cities safe.
Sound familiar? Then when he realizes he can never be among them, the melody comes back again as a melancholic cello solo. And then a few minutes later, he actually meets All Might.
Well, looks like you're moving around all right.
The silly piano music may sound inconsequential, but pay close attention to what the right hand plays. And then of course, to round things out, we hear it one last time in its grand, idealistic state when Deku asks the all-important question.
I'm a normal kid without any powers. Could I ever hope to be someone like you?
Keep in mind, these 4 scenes are from episode 1. Yusei Run itself doesn't play until episode 2. Yet already this single melody has taken us through a whole spectrum of emotions. As someone whose actions are inspired by heroes, he's now inspiring them. Even in later episodes, the show always saves Yusei Run for similar inspiring moments. When Deku risks his life to save Uraraka, when All Might defeats Nomu, and more recently when Deku convinces Todoroki to use his fire.
Come at me with your full power, Todoroki!
These are just a few examples, but in every instance, timing that melody was everything. Heck, the first of these Goes With Everything videos wasn't terribly impressive. It was just a vacant clip from Super Robot Wars Z3. But even it used this to its advantage. From then on, timing played a much bigger role in making Yusei Run go with everything, and it says a lot that most of the scenes you see it paired with are action-centric. So yeah, sadly the phrase goes with everything does not literally mean it'll go with any kind of scene and any kind of timing. Many of these videos you find on YouTube contain multiple edits, either recutting the track itself or the clip they're setting it to. Several of the videos with Dragon Ball clips actually edit out the reaction shots to focus solely on the fight. Some might consider this cheating, but it's all part of making the most fitting experience possible, even if it's intrusive.
What are you doing? I'm distracting you, you big turd blossom.
That said, I do think it's more impressive when you make as few edits as possible, because Yusei Run seems to reveal something intrinsic to the flow of many action scenes through its own pacing. Let's look at that melody again, and the instrumental explosion that signals the start of the next phase. I want to put a big reveal as the drums and brass come crashing in.
Can't stop it. The only thing hard enough to penetrate it is itself.
It's getting closer!
That fits. So now if that exact moment was to collide with the music there, we already get several things from working backwards. We get Bob realizing he has a chance to win when the drums introduce themselves.
Syndrome's removed!
The robot starts chasing Dash when the horns take over. Then it tries to jump on top of him when the choir joins in. Then once the loud instruments back out is the moment the robot stops Bob from grabbing the remote again. The drums stop playing once the robot slams into the building. And this is where the main melody plays, finally leading up to that one edit I made before.
itself.
Coincidence? I think not!
It all comes back to those phases and the percussive bursts that mark them, as they're essentially pivots or goals to base the timing around. Eventually though, this luck is gonna run out, and we'll reach a point where the clip or the track should logically stop.
Shut up.
But even if you can get a few major beats to coincide, then I think you're a step closer to figuring out what it means for something to go with everything. At the heart of any action scene is the drive to overcome adversity, and the fact that this can be seen as the ethos of Yusei Run is a testament to both its composer as well as the series it came from. I can't explain the exact science of it. Maybe it's the tempo, the chord progression, or something else. I still stand by what I say about the track being generic, because inspiration is just a seed, and the fact that it can be passed along to all these different scenes with its essence intact is worth celebrating. That's what heroes are for, after all. Every Yusei Run video I see makes me respect what My Hero Academia stands for a bit more each time. It's music that's personal, heroic, and it develops an understanding of what personal heroism means as it goes on, teaching us something about that universal flow of action. Hopefully we haven't heard the last of it. Thanks for watching. I am so fucking sick of this track now. I understand if the whole timing thing might be hard to wrap your head around, so I'm gonna be posting some full examples that I found on my Twitter. So make sure to follow me there if you want to see. Link in the description. And heck, why don't you try it yourself? Go to the climax of your favorite action movie or show, and play around with Yusei Run a bit. See what you can find.